Hey everybody, welcome back to the channel. I appreciate your time. Thank you for watching. I'm recording this Friday night, Friday afternoon, but I'm probably going to put this out Saturday morning just because of the way my schedule is. But today we had three cases in the Ninth Circuit that were decided together. We had the decision come out today, and it's a win and a loss. This has to do with all of the sensitive places that California and Hawaii have put into place. There were three cases, like I said, and let me give credit where credit is due first. The three cases you've heard on this channel before. The first one is May v. Bonta. That case was 11 individuals, to include Reno May, our buddy here on YouTube, as well as Anthony Miranda, the armed scholar, and 9 other individuals, citizens, as well as Second Amendment Foundation, Gun Owners of America, Gun Owners Foundation, Gun Owners of California, the Liberal Gun Owners Association, and the California Rifle and Pistol Association. That's the May v. Bonta case. The Carolero v. Bonta case was Orange County Gun Owners PAC, the San Diego County Gun Owners PAC, the California Gun Rights Foundation, Firearms Policy Coalition, and 3 individuals. And the Wolford v. Lopez case, that was 3 individual citizens and the Hawaii Firearms Coalition. So we'll go with the good and the bad. What did we win in this case? What was struck down? What did we lose, which was upheld by this 3-judge panel in the Ninth Circuit? And where do we go from here? But it needs to be said, and I said this the last time I talked about the May v. Bonta case, the 3-judge panel was a very anti-gun panel. And many of us in the community expected to lose everything, but we didn't. But when I tell you what we won versus what we didn't, you're going to start to scratch your head, because none of what they upheld is consistent with this nation's historical tradition of firearm regulation at the time of the founding, all the way up into 1791 when the Second Amendment was ratified. That's the Bruin decision, right? Text, history, tradition. Let's get right into it. I'm going to read from my notes because I'm obviously on location. What did we win? We'll start off there, the good news, right? We won financial institutions and their associated parking lots. Cannot be a gun-free zone. Parking lots shared by government buildings and non-government buildings cannot be a gun-free zone. Hospitals, public transit system, that's a big one. Gatherings requiring a permit, places of worship, your churches, etc. And the vampire rule. The vampire rule was that rule where you couldn't carry on any private property unless you had the explicit consent from the owner of said private property. They call it the vampire rule because there's so much stuff around you that's private property, you could just be sucked dry. Your Second Amendment could just be sucked away. But the judges said only in California is that struck down, not Hawaii. We'll get back to that in a second. So that's what we won. What did we lose? Meaning, what did the 3-judge panel uphold as far as sensitive places, government gun-free zones? Well, bars and restaurants that serve alcohol, beaches, parks, etc. And the founders, where did they all meet? Where did they all pass the word of the day, like we're doing here on YouTube? The news, etc. That was given in taverns, and the militia gathered in taverns. They had firearms there, but bars and restaurants that serve alcohol, beaches, parks, etc., playgrounds and youth centers, athletic facilities, casinos and other gambling establishments, stadiums and arenas, public libraries, public, it's not a private place, public libraries, zoos and museums, any parking areas for places where guns are validly banned, so that would be in everything I just said. And then the vampire rule was upheld in Hawaii. So the 3-judge panel upheld the ban in one state but shot it down in the other. So it's unconstitutional in California but not on the islands. This panel is stupid. But this is not what we need, right? We need the final judgment, and we're not there yet. So I've seen a couple posts and from people involved, and we're not sure what the next step will be. They're considering a couple avenues, and one of them was seek cert from the Supreme Court. But we already heard the Supreme Court say that they choose not to. They would rather not take up any Second Amendment case unless it's on a final judgment of the merits, which this case is not. So this was on the preliminary injunction that I told you about that was secured months ago, not on the final merits of the case. So in theory, the best course might, and I'm not an attorney, but the way the Second Amendment cases have been progressing the last few years, what the Supreme Court would rather see, is a better way to say it, is all right, now we've got the preliminary injunction was upheld in some areas, it was destroyed in some areas. Now go back to the court and win the case or lose the case, and then do the appeal process so that we can get to that final judgment that much faster. But I'm not an attorney, and that's not my decision. But just from all the cases we've been watching go through the Supreme Court, that's kind of what they have said that they prefer. So when we have an update on these cases and what the next step will be by the attorneys involved, I'll bring it to you. But again, just like I've said in every video that's addressed this particular or these three lawsuits, thank you to all of the individual plaintiffs, people who put their name on the dotted line to sue the state when most people wouldn't. So thank you, Reno, Anthony, and everybody else involved in the cases. Thank you to all of the gun groups involved, FPC, GOA, GOF, GOC, SAF, I'm forgetting them all off the top of my head, but everybody involved, thank you. To the attorneys fighting, thank you. We're not done. This is just the beginning. Second Amendment is winning. We would all like it to be faster, but it's winning nonetheless. And that is it has a big part to do with the federal judges that Donald Trump appointed. It's like I've said in another video, it's the longest lasting effect that any president can have on this country. It's the judges they appoint. And if you want more judges to be appointed that are favorable to the Constitution, then vote accordingly. Get registered to vote and vote accordingly in November. And be part of the fix. Be part of the fix. Guys and gals, I appreciate all of you more than you know. Thank you for your time. And I'll see you all in the next one. Take care.